KHAZARIAN Mafia chickens coming home to roost in the year of rooster. As ye shall sow, so you shall reap, has never been more true than in 2016 when the KHAZARIAN Mafia's long list of crimes against humanity began to finally catch up with them. That year saw the removal from power from this world of many top KHAZARIAN mobsters, including the Rockefellers, the Bushes, the Clintons, and the top henchmen like George Soros and Barack Obama. We also saw a revolt in Anglo-Saxon world that led to the end of KHAZARIAN-controlled regimes in the UK and the US. Now in 2017, the year of the rooster, their chickens are really going to come home to roost. This will be the year of mass arrested, war crimes trials, and regime change as the final mop-up of KHAZARIAN mob rule takes place. Sources in the Pentagon, the Noxic Illuminati, Asian secret societies, and the White Dragon Society all agree. In the US, the arrest of over 15,000 KHAZARIAN mobsters by the FBI already began January the 1st, Pentagon sources say. The perpetrators of 11 September, the illegal Iraq invasion, the Fukushima tsunami and nuclear terror attacks on Japan, and other crimes against humanity are being rounded up, and there will be public disclosure about this in all major mass media, White Dragon Society sources promised. Kabul underground bases in Nevada, Denver, New Zealand, as well as the cloning base under Camp David, will destroy, and more bases in Australia, San Diego, Hawaii, and Alaska may be targeted, the Pentagon sources report. As Kabbalists seek to escape to New Zealand, Congo, Brazil, or Paraguay, there may be more kinetic actions to stop them, the sources promise. In Asia, meanwhile, there is fear, confusion, and hope as the full implications of the decapitation of the KHAZARIAN Mafia begin to sink in at governmental level. Multiple sources agree. There has been an especially large amount of secret activity in Japan, Japanese right-wing sources say. We have confirmed it from sources in Japanese royal family and in cabinet of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe that Supreme Court Judge Hisashi Owada, who is also father to Princess Masako, was detained in Switzerland last week at the BIS when he was caught trying to cash some Sino-Japanese war reparations bond. Owada was trying to cash the bonds to make up for losses incurred by former Japanese Prime Ministers Yasuo Fukuda and Junichiro Koizumi when they invested special Japanese foreign ministry funds in stocks, the sources say. He may be the crown princess's father, but he is not the emperor, and that is why he was arrested, a Japanese right-winger close to the emperor family noted. Owada was one of the Rockefellers' most senior agents in Japan, and his detention has sent shock waves through the Japanese establishment. Another senior Rockefeller agent, Yotaro Yobagashi of the Trilateral Commission, has also been trying in vain to cash large denomination financial instruments while claiming there is no such thing as a dragon family. Yakuza agents have been dispatched to deal with them, Japanese right-wing sources say. The Chinese and Japanese establishments, which both invested heavily in the campaign of Hillary Clinton for President of the United States, are still reeling in shock over these losses, which finally drove home to them the reality of regime change at the very highest level in the West. The Japanese emperor's announced abdication, now expected to be formalized in April, did not take place in time for KHAZARIAN agents to complete their planned hijacking of the Bank of Japan, as can be seen by the detention of Owada. The revelation that mother of the major emperor was a Habsburg princess has sent shock waves through the extended emperor family, the right-wingers noted. It is now obvious to them the plan to use a female line to take over the patrilineal Japanese emperor family was behind the infiltration of Owada's daughter, Masako, into the royal household, Japanese royal family member says. That is why there was such a big media campaign recently to allow a female to take over the throne, they add. In any case, the KHAZARIANs had promised to hand over the ASEAN, Japan, and the Korean peninsula to China in exchange for China's help in getting Hillary elected, Asian secret society sources confirmed. That is why the emperor was supposed to have resigned it, but now these plans have been stopped. A Japanese Kyoto News Agency article that appeared in the January 1st edition of the Japan Times displays the confusion and anger among agents of the old regime in Japan by criticizing the government for refusing to endorse a KHAZARIAN slave regime resolution against Russia over Syria. Japan's stance made what would have been a G7 statement into a group of 6 statements, the news agency article lamented. Tadashi, the head of Dentsu, Japan's advertising near monopoly, announced that his resignation last week in a clear sign Japan's system of media control is about to change. Dentsu has long used advertising boycotts or the threat thereof to keep Japanese media under the control. The purge going on there means the trained souls working at the big Japanese corporate media companies will soon be barking to a different tune, and agencies like Kyoto will stop being mouthpieces of KHAZARIAN propaganda. Japanese Finance Minister Taro Aso may also be removed because he reports to the French branch of the Rothschild family, and as such is blocking efforts to free Japan from debt slavery by nationalizing the Bank of Japan, the Japanese right-wing sources say. The big test will be to see if the Japanese government now has the courage to release the tapes it has of the war criminal and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling then Japanese Prime Minister Naoto Kan on March 12, 2011 and threatening mass murder on the citizens of Tokyo unless the Japanese government signed it over its foreign currency holdings to KHAZARIan Mafia. Abe is so scared of Netanyahu that he wants to resign rather than have to confront him, the Japanese right-wing sources say. Even if Abe is too chicken, Netanyahu's days are numbered. Abe will be forced to step aside if he refused to act on 11 March, Japanese right-wing sources say. The Japanese have also been informed by the Gnostic Illuminati that any further Israeli or KHAZARIan attacks on Japan will be met with retaliation in the form of 1,500 megaton nuclear weapon, enough to, for example, obliterate Israel. Netanyahu is, in any case, already facing multiple criminal charges. United Nations Security Council Resolution of 2334 provides International Criminal Court with a legal foundation to prosecute Israel for war crimes, population transfer, illegal settlements, and more, Pentagon sources say. Netanyahu is also facing criminal charges of fraud and robbery in Israel. The important thing for Israel is official to realize as they press criminal charges against him is that Netanyahu is not a Jew. He is a Satanist and a sworn enemy of the Jewish people. Netanyahu, together with the Germany's Angela Merkel, are now the 2 most senior KHAZARIan Mafia agents in power, and as such, are now high-priority targets. Gnostic Illuminati and Pentagon sources agree. Overall, what we are now seeing is a mopping-up operation because victory and freedom for the human race has already been assured.